Attorney and author Sally Babbitt joins us again from Babbitt Law. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, so I want to talk to you about cottage trusts or recreational trusts.
Yeah.
What is that?
Well, it's kind of just a generic term for when somebody sets up a trust and the intent is to fund it with either the family cottage or maybe some hunting land or recreational property for the benefit of future generations, so it stays in the family.
Is this a new trend? Are they becoming more popular?
Yeah, it is a new trend, and it's because so many of these northern Michigan properties usually are going into the next generation as the older generation passes away, and they want a way to preserve it because sometimes one person can't afford it or won't use it all the time. So they want to preserve it for their kids and grandkids on down, so they are growing in popularity.
So how do you set it up? What do you do?
So you set it up much like a standard trust with the intent that you transfer the property in there, and then you kind of lay out what's going to happen when the first generation goes, who's going to make the decisions, what's going to happen as it goes into further and further generations, and then it's held in that trust.
It's so overwhelming to think about for some of us. For you, you're like, I do this all day. And the rest of us like, I need to make decisions and a lot of decisions. So that's why we come to someone to you and make those plans ahead of time, not when you're in ill health and not when somebody's really in decline or Alzheimer's has begun to take its toll. Make these plans now. I mean, especially if you have young families.
Yes.
Yeah, I think about that, and I think, if you're set on making sure that your cottage or your piece of property goes to your family, they might not be able to afford it, but this would take care of that.
It does take care of that. And then the other thing that I recommend, that's not required for the trust, but I recommend is put together at the same time some kind of a usage agreement. In terms of, are we all going to show up at Thanksgiving and no one knew that, or the 4th of July? Right. So you have some kind of a plan of how are we going to allocate usage between these generations and costs. Because if you got someone that's out of town or out of state, they probably don't want to pick up, say, a third of the expenses if they're only going to be there 1 week. And are you going to rent? All of those functional, practical things I think should be set up at the same time.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
We're going to make it easy for people because we're going to put your information on the screen. Babbitt Legal Group, SallyBabbittLaw.com, or give her a call at 517-507-3306.